Hello and welcome. In today's video we will start making our Snake multiplayer. We have a lot of work to do, so let's get into it. As you can see, I put all of my Snake files into a folder called Snake, and let's go to the window, Asset Store, and we're going to be downloading a Photon network. Just go into search, type Photon network, hit enter. Scale it for free only. Click here and get the Photon Unity networking free with the gray icon. Hit on that, hit download import. I already have it downloaded, I'm just gonna import it. Okay, hit import. Okay, so once it's done importing, you will be prompted with the window like this, which is asking you for app ID or email from the Photon network. I will provide you a link in the description. Basically what you need to do is go to the Photon network website, register, and I will give you a link to this URL. All you need is the app ID, which you will just copy and paste. If I will, okay, copy, go back into Unity, paste, click setup project. This is all for the networking stuff. Oh, and don't forget to check the checkbox auto join lobby. This will join our lobbies automatically, which will help us. And that's it basically for the setup. You can go ahead and close the asset store tab and leave the game. Okay, we can minimize this. First of all, I will disable the orbs just so it doesn't clutter there. I'm gonna disable the snake head as well. Actually, no. What do we need? This was here. Okay, so now that we have imported everything, we want to first go ahead and create a new create empty game object. We'll call it network manager, and we'll create a corresponding script named network manager script that will handle the connections. We'll hit create an add. Until it's done compiling. Okay, and the next thing we want to do is create a project, a new folder in the project tab, which we will name resources. This folder is needed to be named like this because when we are instantiating game objects or stuff online over the Photon network, it will be looking in this particular folder for that game object. So everything that is going to be instantiated online, it needs to be in the resources folder. So I'm gonna go ahead and create the Snakehead Prefab, just drag and drop it onto the resources, and I will disable the one in the hierarchy, I mean in game, so we don't have anything. Okay, since we have this is okay, and this is okay. Okay, so let's get into our coding. We want to open the network manager script like this. Okay, this is something different. Okay, let's go ahead and delete this script first. Okay, so in this script we're gonna be looking for available rooms, and we will be connecting or creating a new room. So the first thing is what we're going to do is going to be private room info. This is going to be an array of rooms list, which will say rooms list available. The next thing is going to be public game object, our snakehead. I'll just name it like that. The snakehead we're going to instantiate. The next method we want to start with is void start. So when the script is started, we want to say Photon network dot connect using settings, and in the parentheses we want to say string. That will be a version, let's say 0.1. So everybody who has the same build with this version will be on the same server. Those who don't won't be able to see you. If, for instance, I play on 0.1 and my friend plays on 0.2, we won't be able to see each other since they're not the same versions. Okay, the next thing we want to do is void on GUI. This is a built-in method. It is used for drawing stuff on the screen. I'm sure you're familiar with this one. So here first we're going to be checking if we are connected. We're going to say if the exclamation mark point Photon, which stands for false. So if Photon network the connected, if we are not connected, we want to say GUI layout the label Photon network the connection state detailed the toString parentheses close. Okay, so if we are not connected, this is just going to print out the connection state on our screen, which is going to say, okay, you opened the game, I'm connecting you, you're connected, and then we're going to lose this part. You will see in a moment. It will be kind of hard for me to go from coding to Unity starting because it takes a lot of time, so I will just write a script and then we will run it to see what's happening. Okay, so the next thing is else if Photon network dot room equals to null, which means if we are not in any of the rooms, we want to say if GUI dot button, which is used to check if the draw button that we made is clicked. I'm also sure you're familiar with it. We'll just say new rectangle rect. Let's just say 100, 100, 250, 100, comma, start server, close once more. And if this is clicked, we want to say Photon network dot create room with the name, let's say Slither room, like the Slither IO, comma, room options is going to be a new object, which we're just gonna say new room options, parentheses, brackets, we're just gonna say max players. This is a built-in Photons method, so don't worry about this. Like this, comma, it asks for a type lobby, we'll just say null, and that's it for this line. Next, under the start server, we want to check if there are more lists open and we don't want a private room. We're gonna say if room lists from this variable from we named before, the first one, is different from null, which means if it's not empty, we're gonna go through that array and check for each room and print it out. So we're just gonna go ahead and say for loop integer I equals 0, I is less than room list dot length, I plus plus, the brackets, and we're gonna say if GUI dot button new rectangle 100 by 250 plus 110 times E, comma 250 100. So what this will do, comma join this room. I'm just gonna set it like that, close it here, and if we do click this, we'll say Photon network the join room list out of E the name, and we will connect to this room. So basically what this does, if there are two rooms, it will print out each and every underneath the previous one. You will see that if you have more ROMs than one, which I'll show you later as well. Okay, so this is it for the GUI method. Next thing we want to do is populate our ROM list with the built-in Photon method, which is void on received ROM list update, and we're just gonna go ahead and say ROM lists list equals Photon network dot get ROM list parentheses, and that's it. On received, okay, I spelled it okay, void on joined ROM. This is also a Photon built-in network, which we'll check if we are joined, and if we are joined, we're just gonna go ahead and say debug.log connected to the room. This is going to print the stuff below in the console. And we want to instantiate our Snakehead, which we're going to say Photon network.instantiate parentheses our Snakehead.transform.name. Since it fetches the game object by a string, you can't pass game objects over the network, so we're just gonna have to deal with strings mostly, comma or numbers. Vector 3 position, we'll just set it to the mill, which is vector 3.0 from the beginning. Quaternion.identity, like from the spawning, and the integer group, we're just gonna go ahead and say null. We don't worry about that. So if we go back into Unity, we should get no errors. And we want to give our Snakehead a new component which is Photon view. This is a component that every game object needs to have if it's going to be instantiated on the network, or if it wants to be seen by the other players. So if we hit play, we should see our Snakehead when we connect. Okay, so we see a button start server. If I hit start server, we didn't assign our Snakehead. You remember the layout code we had? Check this corner and you will see the connection state. Connection, masticating master server. Okay, start server. And we have a bug with this. We'll fix it in just a moment. But you can see our snake instantiated and it's all on the server. Okay, so let's go ahead and fix this stuff. First of all, we want to open our Snakehead method for the snake movement. Okay, so to fix that, we're just gonna go ahead and comment or disable our spawn orb manager to get rid of those errors. Since if we are in the multiplayer, we will want all the players to have globally instantiated orbs and not just around their heads. And the next thing we want to do is to give our snake a unique name. And we will do it like this. We will make a void awake method, and this is where we are going to use our first Photon real network. Excuse me, my phone rang. Okay, so we are going to be changing our snake name since we want every player to have unique name. We're just gonna go and by default say Photon view. Oh, we need to inherit the Photon mono behavior, which you want to add here. We're just gonna go ahead and say Photon view .rpc, which is going to change the name. I will explain that in a bit. I'll just say change my name Photon targets dot all buffered, comma, what did we say? A Photon network dot player list dot length dot toString parentheses, and that's it. Okay, I'm sorry, I had to leave for a moment. Okay, so let's continue. What this will do is it will call a method that we are going to create. It will target all of the players on the, this means Photon targets that all, it means it will target all the players that are currently on the server. And buffered means it will target all the current one and the ones that are going to connect. So it will keep it somewhere in the cache. So when I, let's say, connect, change my name, it will say 1, but when he connects, he won't see my name changed. But if we had debuffered, my game object will call that method again for him, and it will say, oh, this is player has changed name, I will change it to the new player as well. So let's go ahead and create this method. It needs to have a declaration, I think it's called. It's going to be pun RPC. And below that, we're going to say change my name, which is accepting a string, which will just say my new name. And we're just going to go ahead and say game object that transform that name equals my new name. So if we go head back into Unity, I realize this video is really long, so I will cut it here. In the next one we will cover snake movement on the network, and you will see how it all works out. This was just an intro. Hopefully you will get the point. This is maybe a little bit complicated project for the first one, but for the networking, but I think it's going to be okay. Okay, so as you can see, our actual game object has changed its name to 1, and if we were to have another player connected, it would create a new one and it would name him 2. So if another player connected, we would see a game object with a name 2. Okay, so that's it for this one. Stay tuned, don't forget to comment for questions, like and subscribe if you want. Till next time, see ya.